Evening, everybody, and happy Friday. Welcome to Boss FM Evening News. You are hanging with Alex Coltrane.
In Skylar Row, we're bringing you the dopest and hottest news. This is Boss FM. Stay tuned.
Wake the streets up. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Wake the streets up. Okay. Come on. Okay. Wake the streets up. Yeah. Yeah. Come on. Wake the streets up. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
First and foremost, we want to report that our beloved grandmother and award-winning actress Cicely Tyson has passed away. Tyson lived to be 96 years old and graced our television screens for more than 6 decades. Tyson recently released her memoir, Just As I Am, this past Tuesday. Now, Alex, this seems to be a big shock for the news. But I will say that Cicely, she lived a long, gracious life. She definitely did.
Yeah, definitely. It's heartbreaking news. You hate to hear anything like that, especially from someone that you kind of get to know through your television screen. You almost feel like they're kind of an extended family member at some point when you see them so often in your home like that. Yeah, really devastating. Rest in peace to an icon. But in other news, the 2 inmates who escaped from Florence prison last weekend in Arizona have now been caught by law enforcement in Coolidge. The U.S. Marshal Service said that some of their marshals were in Coolidge Thursday morning on an unrelated case. The marshals first went to the Coolidge Police Department to check in as normal practice, and while there, Coolidge police received several calls from witnesses who reported seeing the 2 inmates, David T. Harmon and John P. Sharpio, at around 9 a.m. in a cotton field near Randolph and Vale Roads. The witnesses said they had a view of who they believed were the fugitives. Authorities were called, and the U.S. Marshals and Coolidge officers responded to the field and set up a perimeter. When they spotted the 2 in the field, officers gave them commands, and the 2 apparently did not comply. Coolidge officers deployed tasers, and U.S. Marshals tackled the inmates, taking them back into custody. They are now at Pinal County Detention Center, waiting to be taken back to Florence Prison. This is just a crazy story to me. It feels like something out of a movie, like "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" or something.
Definitely. Like
Wild story.
Definitely. But Lil Nas X has become a New York Times best-selling author for his children's book. The picture book, titled C is for Country, was released at the beginning of January and shows the adventures of a young cowboy and his sidekick, Panini the Pony. It teaches children the alphabet while also promoting lessons of love, family, individuality, and equality. Nas X took his gratitude to Twitter by saying, "We hit New York Times bestseller. I love y'all so much." If you haven't been keeping track, Nas X is the owner of the most certified and played song in history, Old Town Road. And now he's also a best-selling author while also doing all of this before his debut album. Now, Lil Nas X, he's a
Let me tell you something about this guy. This guy is a genius. He knows how to play to his strengths. I just think it's crazy how you go from being essentially an influencer on the internet to charting and breaking records musically. It just shows you how much, if you get your foot in the door, you can run the boards and just flip it to whatever you want. You can't deny greatness there, even if you don't like his music.
Definitely.
Crazy stuff. But anyway, the Cannes Film Festival, one of the movie world's most renowned events, has been postponed, showing the continuing impact of the coronavirus pandemic. The festival was meant to run May 11th through the 22nd, but has now been rescheduled to July the 6th through the 17th. As announced last autumn, the Cannes Film Festival reserved the right to change its dates depending on how the global health situation developed. Some 74,000 people in the country of France have died of COVID-19 since the start of the pandemic. There is now a nationwide 6 p.m. curfew, and cultural venues, including movie theaters, are shut down with no reopening date in sight. Daily COVID-19 cases and deaths appear to be stabilizing, but so far, more than 22,000 new cases were announced on Tuesday with 612 deaths. This is bad news. I don't know. I love the Cannes Film Festival. You get a lot of crazy movie stuff out of it every year, and the fact that something that such a cultural mogul has to be, shifted around really shows you how much Corona has us in its grips and shows no signs of slowing down.
Definitely. And at this point, Corona, Miss COVID, is a walking toddler. She has a lot to say, and she is not going away anytime soon.
It's a tantrum. It's ridiculous, but hopefully we can pull through it. I mean, what other choice do we have? I don't know.
Right. But NFL Hall of Famer and Good Morning America co-host Michael Strahan has tested positive for COVID-19. On Thursday's Good Morning America show, his fellow co-hosts, Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, and Amy Roback addressed reports that he had tested positive. Stephanopoulos stated that Strahan is feeling well and looking forward to being back to work shortly. We wish you a speedy and safe recovery, Michael.
I don't mean this in an insensitive way, but it feels like everyone is getting COVID, and I hate it. It's the worst. Obviously a lot of people are able to bounce back from it and keep it rolling, but a lot of people aren't.
Yes.
It's kind of scary. Like, I know we've been, in the throes of it for a while, so it's kind of normalized at this point, but it's not any less scary than it was at the start of this. So yeah, Michael.
I believe that we'll be wearing masks for the rest of our lives. I'm starting to think
it feels like that. Yeah. I don't know how this whole vaccination thing is going to roll out, but it is starting to feel like that. But yeah, to Michael Strahan, you're in our thoughts. We hope you get better soon. But it is time for our Real Black Friday segment. And today I just want to talk about the late Hank Aaron. Definitely a Black icon, an icon in general, regardless. But a little bit of background on Hank Aaron. He was born in Mobile, Alabama in 1934. In February 1952, he turned 18 and joined the Indianapolis Clowns of the Negro League. He played outstandingly for the Clowns, at one point leading the Negro American League in batting average, runs, hits, doubles, home runs, runs batted, and in total bases. That's crazy. He basically ran the boards same way that Will Chamberlain did for the NBA for a while. It's just unfair amount of athleticism and talent for the game. But he rose quickly to the Boston Braves minor league team, the Eau Claire Bears, and through the minors. And in 1954, he was called to the major league roster for the Braves. Aaron played with the Braves for 20 seasons from 1954 to 1974 and had one of the greatest major league careers in history, eventually being inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. He stated in his book that he put out not too long ago that when I was growing up in Mobile, Alabama, I taught myself how to hit by swinging at bottle caps with a broomstick. When you don't have a lot, you take it upon yourself to learn how to do things, to discover what you're capable of. But I never thought I was developing some kind of special talent by learning how to hit bottle caps. It's just what we had available, end quote. If that's not greatness on display, I don't know what is. Do you think, though, that he's a natural born talent, or do you think that using what he had and, having less kind of forced him to up his work ethic and his skill by means of, just practice?
I believe that with Hank going without the equipment that he needed to be a successful baseball player at such a young age, I believe that when he was able to obtain all that equipment that he needed, he actually went full throttle. Like, when you're born into a situation where you don't have, or you go without, it makes you want to go hard for yourself. It makes you want to do more for yourself. So I definitely think that by him going without, it helped him in his career.
Yeah, I agree. I think some of the greatest success stories from athletes and performers in history, specifically American history, and specifically in Black culture, I think some of the greatest success stories come from those who went without or, were underprivileged early part of their life. So I think, like you said, that gives you an extra drive and more passion towards what you want to do, not only because you're passionate about it and this is your life trajectory, but, to maybe sometimes escape the situation you're in, it gives you that motivation to really be your best. You have to outwork the next guy in order to become the guy. So I think, amazing story, amazing American icon and legend, Hank Aaron, rest in peace.
Definitely. All right, you guys, that is it for our Friday evening news. Be sure to tune in Monday evening at 8:30 p.m. for more news updates. And don't forget to tune in Monday morning at 10:30 a.m. with Christian and Megan for some more entertainment news with Boss FM.
That's right, guys. If you would like to rewatch our show, as always, it will be available for replay on the Boss FM app and on all of our social media platforms. So check us out. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Alex Coltrane.
And I'm Skylar Rowe. Have a great night.